welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights, where 5 nights a week we give you the latest, the greatest, the shameless of the famous. Maybe not that last part. But
It was, it's accurate. Um,
of the entertainment industry. That's what we normally say.
right.
I am JD, aka He Who Pods, aka Rearview Mirror. Specs are on.
And I am Dash.
Oh,
Dash,
that's all. Oh, okay, I'm about to say that's all we get today. Just Dash.
the real king of R&B. I'm so tired I could sleep.
Oh man, me too. I know I look tired up here. You know what I'm saying?
How, yep, I took a nap right before this. So,
Same.
yeah. I took
Different kind of naps though.
yeah. I took a little 30-minute nap. I said, "Oh, I got it's 6:15. I could probably take a little 30-minute nap." So I did. I don't know what came over me. All of a sudden, I was just like, "Ooh, I need to lay down." But
Hey, if you watched Food, Fitness, and Fun, you know you should be taking more naps. We
it's
all
true.
should.
It's true. But also, just like I'm really a 75-year-old woman, so she has
Oh,
to sleep sometimes.
she does.
Yeah.
Felt like I was off center just now. I had to fix that.
Well, get on center so we can talk about some things.
I'm ready. Where would you like to start?
I would like to start with this trailer that came out recently. The
Okay,
people
which
are
trailer?
buzzing.
They definitely are.
Gladiator 2, Denzel with the hoop earring.
Yeah,
Denzel, y'all know if you be over here, y'all know
star-studded
I love a
lineup.
hoop earring.
Ridiculous.
You know it's true. I love my hoops, and apparently Denzel does too.
All right.
So the
Yep.
Gladiator 2 trailer is out, and Gladiator's coming. Gladiator 1 came out a very long time ago.
Yes, it did.
And here we are, embarking on a new gladiator journey. Um, and with Denzel no less.
Correct.
What did you think of the trailer? And are you excited to see this film?
I thought the trailer was too long. I don't know why the trailer is 3 minutes. Um, I said that to my boy Janelle, uh, and he told me that. So what? Gladiator One was a long ass movie.
It was.
I I don't know what that got to do with the trailer being 3 minutes, and I love him, and that's exactly what I said to him. And I think 2 minutes is already a long time because in 2 minutes people show us the whole movie. So in 3 minutes, I feel like I've seen the whole movie already.
Nah, but you didn't.
I feel like they showed us all the good stuff, and only like now we just need the fill-in details.
Details are important.
Sure, but when you see a movie, it's nice to not know, the whole shit. I cursed before 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Just before 5 minutes.
My bad.
Um,
Sorry, YouTube. I think that they showed a lot. There's a lot of action. This is clearly a sequel. They keep mentioning the main character from the first one. I'm curious how certain things are going to go.
yeah.
Um, Listen, Ridley Scott is great at what he does. I said the
Yes.
same thing when we spoke about Alien Romulus a little while back. Couldn't talk there. Um, Ridley Scott is a dependable director. You know what you're getting when you see a Ridley Scott film. He doesn't miss often. and with Pedro Pascal and Denzel Washington. And what's the young guy's name? His name is, hold on. I had it pulled up and then I forgot it. Just that fast. Paul Mescal. There's an interesting cast. Um, and I think that, oh, my boy Peter Mensa is in it. Yeah. You know him, this
I,
guy.
I don't know everybody's name. Oh yes, I do.
Yeah. It's my guy.
Um,
So I think with this star-studded cast, we're definitely going to get a solid film.
mhm.
And I was trying to show you a better picture, even though you said you knew who it was. Um, maybe not. Give me one right now. I think with this cast, this director, I don't think it's going to be a bad film based on this trailer. I just feel like we know a lot already. We know that this is the young guy on the come up who looks up to Maximus and who eventually will fight Pedro Pascal's character. That is clearly the lead up. And also, it's pretty clear that Denzel's character is playing both sides. He wants to be a great entertainer and be paid and powerful, but it also seemed like he kind of want to betray the Roman Empire.
Are you not entertained?
That was Maximus, correct?
I'm excited for it. You know, I don't. I feel like my palette for movies has changed over the years.
Uh
I would,
huh.
I would have probably never been excited about this. I don't know, around the time that the first one came out. I did see it, but I'm just saying that wasn't really on my radar. Today, I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I not see something like this? This looks exciting. So I do think my palette for movies has changed, but also, I mean, they had me at Denzel. I was
Hey, listen, I was trying not to say it.
the imagery around this movie is enough for me. The movie could be terrible, but
Okay.
what I do know is that if I go see this film, or at the very least, look at images from the film, videos from the film, I will at least my creative senses will be satisfied because it's beautiful imagery. Just not even like all we've seen is either 3 minutes or you know some some pictures of Denzel here and there, and in promotion. But man, I said, man, this 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 looks like money was well spent.
Oh yeah, with a movie like this, you gotta go big.
And I love a film that spends the money to make sure that visually they convey exactly what they want us to know. So that makes me excited for it. You do this with music, I do it with movies and TV.
That's funny.
Because for me, this is the instrumentation.
I know where you were going.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm really excited about that. Obviously, it's continuing a story that already existed, so that will be interesting to watch. Um, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I don't like I said I'm not the expert on this, but from what I can see and from what I can remember, I'm like, oh, I'm with it. I want to see this. This looks really interesting, and this looks like this is going to be visually appealing, so I can get with it. Um, One thing that I did want to ask you, because it's come up, is in the trailer. There is a very specific song that is playing as you get into the trailer. No Church in the Wild, Kanye West and Jay-Z. How
Hmm.
do you feel about that choice?
It's fitting because of the hook.
Okay.
Human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer?
Who don't believe ya?
Anything.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
I've seen
also
a lot
in
of
the
mixed
verses,
reviews
there's a
about it.
lot of Roman references.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense, but I have seen some mixed reviews about that specifically, so I was just curious what you thought. Um, I've heard some
Yeah.
people say that they're pandering because it's Denzel and he's black, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but
Hip hop
because
is the number one genre in the world, and so we're gonna hear more and more hip hop in trailers. You're not gonna hear classical music in every trailer in the year 2024. It's hip hop is the number one genre, whether you like it or not, and so that means you're gonna hear it more in things that they want to grab people's attention, and it's also fitting for multiple reasons. I don't understand the critique. If they
I
want to,
agree.
if they want to make it racy, then okay, we can make it racy. But Denzel is not the main character of this film, clearly, so that's a bad angle. And also, like sometimes people be trying to make something out of nothing. Like everything doesn't need to be racy or race baiting. Like,
Well, I was gonna
and that
say
album is also like really popular. So it's not like they chose an obscure album that nobody knows. Like
no,
they chose one of the most popular albums in both people's careers.
right?
And
Yeah,
those two people are superstars. It's not like they chose my album and your album and was like, let's put that in the Gladiator trailer.
yeah. No, I think it's obvious that everything about this, um, everything about this film seems to be pretty star-studded. So to me,
Yeah.
that hearing that didn't jump out at me in that way. What I what I will say too is that for people who think that it's race related, I don't think Hollywood looks at Denzel. I think he is one of the very few people in Hollywood, even though he doesn't like to be associated with Hollywood. But I think he's one of the very few people that Hollywood doesn't look at like, oh, Denzel, the black man. Like Hollywood just looks at Denzel as Denzel. He's this huge, huge, huge mega star. So I don't. It's kind of like a Will Smith. Like they don't. They are considered to be of that upper echelon. They are not. They're not hanging around down here with everyone else. They are put in a completely different bracket when we're having a conversation about them. So I don't really think that that's I don't think that race is the thing here. I think Denzel is the thing here. And that's why, even though he may not be the main character, that's why we've been seeing so much of him in the
Of
last
course.
few weeks. It's because the cachet that comes with having Denzel in your film.
All right.
And it has nothing to do with him being a black man. So it has something to do for him or for me and you, but like in general when we're talking about how they view him and how they view us, I don't think
And
that's
see,
not a
that's
thing.
why I don't understand the internet. Because here's what I'll say. If you were gonna make it racy, the racy thing is that this black guy has slaves and is powerful in Roman times. That's where you make it racy if you want to make it racy, not the hip hop song that's playing in the trailer. And that's why I don't understand the internet sometimes because y'all just be focused on the wrong shit. If I was going to make a race based agenda video or comment, it would be that, oh, why is this black guy owning slaves and how's that even possible during Roman times, and how is it that he's amassing so much power, which we can just tell off the trailer. That's
Well,
how you spin it.
and it's funny you say that because that was the thing that stuck out to me when I was watching it the first time. I watched it like 3 times today, partly because I was a little distracted while I was watching it the first time, and partly because I was like, wait, what you just, your ears perk and be like, wait,
Right.
wait a minute. that is not a foreign concept to me. It's just when you're watching something and you're not expecting it and it pops up and then you're like, oh, let me
Right.
watch this again. Let me watch this one more time. So yes, I think that is the thing that probably should jump out at people, but I also feel like nothing is based on like real actual people look for things to be outraged about. They're not really looking for things that are factual, and it's not coming from an intellectual thought. When your response is instant rage to something that you really haven't even thought through, that's not coming from an intellectual place. That's just
Right.
coming from a very reactive and I just want to have a part in the conversation place. It's not coming from an actual intellectual thought. If you had that intellectual thought, there would be way more to have a conversation about.
Right.
But
In the musical choice in the trailer, like,
yeah, I think it's silly, but I just thought it was interesting that it was even a conversation because I feel like that's the cool thing about movies. You could be watching the whitest movie in America and a hip hop song is playing, or a trailer, and a hip hop song is playing in the background. That's not uncommon. So
no, it's the number one genre right now. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is.
yeah,
If
well,
even if I hated a musical genre,
yeah,
whatever the genre is, even if I absolutely despised it, but it was the number one genre in the world, I'm gonna know, hey, I'm gonna have to stomach hearing this a lot because it's the number one genre in the world, which
yeah,
means it's gonna be everywhere. What's the movie? Everything, everywhere, all at once.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Look at
listen.
us giving y'all a deep dive on the Gladiator trailer.
You know what else we got a deep dive about? It's more hip hop.
More hip hop, and this time it's white hip hop.
Yep, which is not my ministry. So I'm gonna let you take the floor because I did not listen to this album. If y'all know, then you know. But we used to do this thing where we would trade off albums that one of us maybe didn't want to listen to. So your album this time is Eminem,
Yep.
and my album is Megan the Stallion. So we will do Megan the Stallion tomorrow, but today you have the floor. Tell us about Eminem's brand spanking new album. What did you think?
All right. So Eminem dropped the Death of Slim Shady coup de grace on July 12th. 19 songs, 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Oof. Longer.
Um.
That's 10 minutes longer than Megan.
Okay.
Thank you for your service.
No problem. So this was an interesting listen for me because I'm one of the people who used to be a big Eminem fan and then did not listen to Eminem at all.
You were an angry teenager?
Absolutely. Come on.
Okay.
Are you kidding? How could I not be?
I was just asking because I mean the writing is on the wall.
Come on, man. Just playing cleaning out my closet every time I was mad at my mother. She grew to she grew to hate that song.
I would imagine so.
Probably gets traumatized every time she hears it today. Anyway, yeah, I definitely was an Eminem fan for a long time, and then I think it's fair to say his career took a dip, and so I didn't travel with him after that. I think I said here last time when we talked about Houdini that I listened to a certain point till a certain point, and then I stopped, and then people tried to get me to listen to Recovery, um, and I heard Recovery, but didn't feel like a lot of people felt about it, and then never listened after that. So I didn't know what to expect going into this album. Houdini was the only thing we'd heard prior, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Houdini. Um, And so I guess I'll start there. So the theme of this album is that there is a struggle going on between Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers. And throughout the album, they are beefing. They are trying to get rid of each other. And so
Okay.
it is a power struggle. It is obviously a concept album.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the whole thing, right? Like there's a fight scene, there are conversations between the two people.
Mm-hmm.
Slim Shady is said to be back and trying to take over. Marshall Mathers is trying not to allow it. And so this theme is reoccurring throughout the album.
Okay.
Um, so I now understand why Houdini exists, why it sounds similar to Guess Who's Back. Um, because it's supposed to be this the Slim Shady character or persona resurrecting. That's part of him. So there are certain songs which are clearly from the perspective and voice of Slim Shady. There are
Okay.
other songs which are from the perspective of Marshall Mathers. And so this theme goes on throughout the album for about 12 songs, I want to say, more or less. Something like that. I listened to it twice in 24 hours. So if I'm wrong, fans in the comments, please forgive me. But for something like 10 or 12 songs, this is going on.
Okay.
Um, and so you understand the concept pretty well.
Okay.
Um,
Good.
and so where Houdini is in the album makes sense. Um, so that's the first theme of the project. The second theme is this is a battle against cancel culture.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because it. I mean, what was is Houdini the song? That was released already.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean, all the things he said made it sound like he's like,
that's nothing. He speaks about quote midgets, quote paraplegics, quote Christopher Reeves, um deaf people, blind people,
oh,
the list. Oh, Lizzo, there's a song that's pretty much about Lizzo and America's health. Uh, that was really interesting to me. It's about body positivity being fake and people not being healthy and how we should probably spend more time on trying to diet and lose weight and exercise and fix our lives as opposed to fake championing um being fat. Um, so yes, Lizzo is name dropped in that song. Um, there are a lot of kind of push the envelope lyrics, um, which if you are an Eminem fan, you know that that's kind of what the Slim Shady character has always done.
mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of an album that's saying cancel culture shouldn't exist. And I'm going to say all of the things that should get someone canceled. Uh, because I probably can't be canceled, and cancel culture is really stupid. Um,
Okay.
and so that is mentioned and mocked throughout the album. Um, there's even a part where Marshall Mathers asks Slim Shady, "Hey man, what the hell are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm trying my best to get us canceled." So these are the two themes that run concurrently during the project. And so now that I've explained all of that, I think it's a really interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I appreciate the creativity. and the effort on this project. Um, the feature choices were very interesting. Um, and there is a balance of how I word this. There's a balance where they say for the last few albums, um, Eminem has just been rapping what they call lyrical miracle style, where I'm going to punch in, excuse me, not punch in. I'm going to place as many rhyming schemes as possible in every bar, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna rap faster than quote unquote most people, so you
Okay.
can see the level of skill that I'm at. I'm going to prove my lyrical prowess, and I'm going to prove that I'm the best rapper skill wise out here. That's what people have said about Eminem for years. The last couple years, that's all he's done allegedly. I don't know. I have not heard those projects, so I cannot say yay or nay. What I can say is that's not what happened here. There was some of that, but it was a lot less than what I am told he has done in the past. This was more about being creative and just making good songs that went along with the theme. And so I thought it was a good project. As a person who enjoys doing themed projects myself, or what they call concept albums, I thought the mission was accomplished.
Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit.
Yes, Rabbit Hole is one of my concept projects. Thank you for the shout out. But as a person who likes doing those and has quite a few of those, I think that the mission was definitely accomplished here. He explained what coup de grace means and why that's you. Once you hear what it is, you understand the title. It is the big final act, and so it makes sense that the Death of Slim Shady is that. And so there was some silliness, which I'm not a fan of silly Eminem stuff like Houdini and other songs. But there were deep songs about, like, there's a song about his daughter. There's a song for his daughter, rather. It's basically saying, play this when I die, and his instructions to his daughter for after he passes. Um, Even the conversation between the final conversations between Eminem and Slim Shady, there's a lot of like introspection there. Um, there are songs that speak about like his family and how he let them down and how he let addiction consume him at one point. And so those things also are there along with like the super silly anticky stuff. Like there's an entire song that makes fun of Christopher Reeves. And they note that later in the album they explain that that song was recorded in 2004 and was supposed to be on the album that came out at that time, but that's when Christopher Reeves died, so the song was shelved. But even that is made fun of because that's part of the whole thing, right? Where Slim Shady just wants to be a loose cannon who is uh, goofy and pushing the envelope, and Slim Shady's thing is you couldn't have got where you got without me. And Marshall Mathers' thing is, well, I don't really need you anymore. So I think the project. Oh, go ahead. I see a question coming.
It sounds like a really creative way, a really strategic way of trying to excuse your bad behavior.
No, it's the opposite.
Conceptually, yes, it sounds really interesting and really creative, but then to get all the stuff off so you could be like, well, I don't want to be that way, it sounds like a really crafty way to say the things that you want to say, but rationalize why you're saying them.
I see why you say that. It's kind of the opposite. It's kind of so yeah. in one aspect it is that because of the whole poking fun at cancel culture thing. Um, so yes, there is that part, but the other part is this isn't okay, and I'm mature enough not to do this anymore. I also don't need this to sell records anymore. It's
Only I am doing it
sure.
because he is. That's kind of what I mean, right? Because what you're saying, I totally understand, but he is doing it. He's saying I shouldn't be doing this, but he's doing it.
Yes.
I don't know. It's interesting to me, but
It's like binge eating before you go on a diet.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's
That's what I
like
thought about. It was like I'm gonna eat all the ice cream and cake and cookies because I can't have it anymore. So I'm
it's
gonna I'm gonna get it out of my system.
it's like it's like cheating on your partner the night before your wedding. It's
That's
like that.
extreme, but I get it.
I don't because there are people who say they go to their bachelor party, bachelorette party, and they do whatever they want to do, and then that's supposed to be like, well, I'm doing that because I'm getting it out of my system, but I'm gonna go commit to this person tomorrow. But you already made a commitment to the person, so this is cheating, no matter how you flip it or dip it, unless you were given permission to do so. But in the argument that you weren't, it's it's a way to excuse your bad behavior by saying that I've changed, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. But I did change, which
Yeah,
I think
I
is
see
kind
what
of
you're saying.
I think it's kind of like coming from Eminem. That just to me sounds like, oh well, I don't know if I believe you because this is you. Yes, you have rode on this. I will say things that are salacious. I will say things that are shocking and egregious and will offend people in order to make my money. And to me, it sounds like he still had to do that. Um, a concept album, no less. But my only point here is because, like I said, I think the concept is very creative. But at the same time, what the messaging is like, well, you are doing the thing that you're saying you shouldn't be doing or don't want to be doing anymore. But you did it, and you did the same thing you used to do, where you used it to sell albums. So how
Yeah,
different are
and
you?
I think well the point is allegedly this is it. This is to use an Eminem pun, the curtain call.
Okay, I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying. Um, very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I think it's interesting. I didn't hear anything that was absolutely horrible. I don't like the silly, ridiculous, over the top Eminem stuff. Those songs were hard for me, but I'm sure the fans who enjoy that type of stuff will love that. I just think that this was a balanced project.
Mhm.
You got a little bit of the rap god, super lyrical miracle type of stuff. You got the silly stuff. You got the introspective stuff. You got the sad stuff. You got the happy stuff. And so, I think this was a good body of work. I think it was a good concept. Yes, Alon, thank you very much. Um, I think the mission was accomplished, and I think that this is an album that it may not be your favorite Eminem album, but I think that you can sit and enjoy it and the journey it takes you on.
Okay, that's cool. I dig that. It sounds like you had an interesting time listening to it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all, but it is a journey. It's almost like watching a movie. I could totally see him doing some type of short film for this or something.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting that he's back.
I mean,
And
he's
yeah.
been putting albums out consistently the last 4 or 5 years. I just don't think that they had the promotion and style that this had. And I think he's heard all the criticism of all he does is the quote unquote lyrical miracle stuff, and said to himself, okay, then let me show that I can do more than just that. Perhaps it's time to uh, grow as an artist and stop only trying to prove that I'm the best rapper.
Yeah. And I guess when I say back, I mean more. I think this is the first time, at least for me, in years that it seems like it's very widespread that he's got this music out. He's seems to be on the socials promoting it. He seems to be very this to
Yeah,
me is was a pretty standard rollout. I
yeah.
don't know if that happened for his last few projects. I honestly don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
No, I understand
I
what you're saying.
didn't see it, and I'm not anybody to, I'm not I'm not the deciding factor on who who whose rollout is done a certain way or not. But I just don't think that or not a deciding factor on, who's hot and who's not. So maybe I just didn't notice that he was doing that in the past, but it seems to me that um, this got a bigger push. This was something that he wanted the masses to take in. So,
Yeah, I agree. And I was trying to cut you off. That's what I was going to say. I think this is less for the hardcore Eminem fans or stans, and more of, okay, let's get a mainstream album out there, something that is palatable for the masses. So yeah, I agree.
well, I hope everybody who listens to it enjoys it. Um, I'm probably not going to listen to it if I'm being honest.
We got that from your last your last sentence. Oh
I
man.
I was just not a fan like y'all were. So, and that's fine. Like that's no disrespect to him. I just wasn't. Um, and tomorrow we will. I'm not even a big fan. It's just when you draw straws. This is the straw you.
The gig is the gig.
The gig is the gig. But I will review Megan by Megan the Stallion tomorrow. And until then, this has been Weeknights, and thank you so much for coming. And please do come again.